21st of March, and I'm now back home, and I'm in the greenhouse at home. So what I'm going to show you now is how to sow your sweet corn. Whether you're doing normal sweet corn, popcorn, or the baby sweet corn, you can sow it all from sort of end of March through to sort of the middle of April through to the end of April, depending on where you live. It's best to start it under cover because the germination rate tends to be much better. There are so many different varieties out there, and just choose whichever one you fancy really. I've got two varieties here. I've got Swift, and I've also got Sweet Nugget. They both get sown at exactly the same time, and hopefully they'll all be ready at roughly the same time, but I will keep you updated with their progress as we go on. But let me show you how to sow these. Now it's best to start them off in a 3-inch pot. If you do have a fairly deep tray, then seed tray, then please, sow them in a seed tray, but I would suggest you sow about 4 by about 5 or 6. The roots will spread quite a lot, so they will need to have a decent amount of space between them. But this year I'm going to sow these in a 3-inch pot. I'm going to do 2 seeds per pot. Now they will stay in these pots until they're big enough to go outside, and sowing them in a 3-inch pot like this gives them lots of extra space. So fill your pot up with compost all the way, and then make a hole north and south. Alright, this is just normal multi-purpose compost, and just make the hole up to about your first knuckle, so it's about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then all we need to do is to sow the seeds. Now these are the sweet corn seeds. They look shriveled and a bit weird, I have to admit, but this is right, so don't worry about those. You could, if you wanted to, soak these in some water for about 24 hours before you sow them, because it will soften them up a bit, but it's something I've never done. I've always sown them straight in the soil. As long as you give the soil a good water, then they'll be fine. So put 1 in each hole, and then just cover them up with a little bit more compost, just like that. Now I'll carry on and do the rest and fill this tray, and then I'll come back to you when I'm done. Okay, so that's 3 trays of the Swift. I still need to do the other variety, but once you've sown them, then all you need to do is give them a really good water. Now hopefully they should start breaking the soil in about 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the weather. It's actually quite warm in here. I've got a thermometer in here and my new little toy, and apparently it's 18 degrees in here, which is fabulous. It's really warm, it's lovely. So during the day I won't have a propagator lid on them. If however we are forecast a very cold night and possibly frost, then I will stick a propagator lid over the top of them just to give them that extra little bit of protection. But now that the days are warmer and it starts to get nice and warm in the greenhouse, most of the plants that are already, the seedlings that are already growing, I can actually take their propagator lids off during the day and then pop them back on just before it starts to get dark. So I'll carry on doing the other ones, but before I do, I'll just give you a little update on some of the plants that I've got in here, because I gave you an update a little while ago, and some of them hadn't come through, but I just want to show them to you, just some of them. Well, here are the broad beans. They've been very, very slow at coming through, but you can see that they are now coming through, which is wonderful. I put 1 seed per plant, so there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that haven't, so it's just over half that have, but they're doing quite well. They're still very, very small, but these won't go outside for, well, until they're at least 3 inches tall, so they'll be in here for quite a lot longer. These are some cabbage and these are some kohlrabi. These are doing amazingly. The kohlrabi is now ready to be potted up, but I don't have time to do it today, but I'll most probably do it tomorrow, but I will show you that when I do it. The cabbage, some of them are, but I think I might leave these for a little bit longer. Now the tomatoes are finally coming up. These are the Shirleys. I've got 1, 2, 3. This was the very first one to come up. This one's only just poked its head out of the soil. The Moneymaker are doing very, very well, but again they're still too small to be potted up. Give them another couple of weeks, but as I say, when I do it, then I will let you know. Here we've got the Brucale. Again, that's ready to be potted up, so I'll do that in the next couple of days. Here we've got some dill, which is doing very well, and then a few other herbs here. The coriander has started to come up, but none of the others have quite popped through the surface yet, but these haven't been in for that long, so I'm not worried that they haven't come through yet. And there we've got the Ironman broccoli. That's nearly ready to pot up. Give that another couple of days and I can start doing that. And at the back, the leeks are coming up. They were quite slow to start with, but they are on their way. The last time I showed you those, they were just about coming up, but now they seem to be well on their way. And in here we've got a load of flower seeds. The Alison is coming up very well. The Armeria is just about to come up, and the other 2 aren't quite yet, or the 3, sorry. And then over in the far left-hand corner, which is where the hot chilies are and the sweet peppers, they haven't quite popped through the surface, but it's warming up. It's just not hot enough for them to actually pop through. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks they'll be up as well. And finally, the sweet peas are doing well. I've still got some that are just about to pop up, some that still haven't, but they're coming along quite nicely. They're not ready to go outside yet, or even the growing tips to be snipped off quite yet, but we need to wait for those to get much taller before we do that. But when I do another step with those, then I'll show you. And last but by no means least, here we have the shallots. They've just started to shoot up their green leaves. Some of them are a little bit behind, but they won't be going outside until, I don't know, middle of April. So they'll be quite happy, and hopefully by the time they're ready to go outside, they'll all have lovely little green shoots on them. So it's all doing really well in the greenhouse at the moment because the days are getting warmer. All the plants are loving it, and I'm loving it too. So they're all growing beautifully, so there'll be lots of potting up to do soon, as well as lots more sowing. But when I do those, then I will let you know. Well, I've got to carry on with the other packet of sweet corn, but I hope you've enjoyed what I've shown you this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.